Okay, so good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the big conversation. It's a real honor and privilege to have Gemma Godfrey on with us tonight. You know, one of the beautiful things about doing these big conversations is that it really gives us an opportunity to know our members better as a community. And we are blessed to be a large community, and we're not always able to. As a community, we're not always able to really get to know each other. And one of the amazing things about doing this is that people really get to know other members of the community who they wouldn't otherwise necessarily know, which is why it's been a real honor and privilege to be able to have these, and especially to have Gemma with us tonight. Now, as you would have seen from the poster, Gemma's got an impressive list over here of things to her name. She's an advisor to high growth companies and UK government. She's an executive editor of Times Money Mentor, which she'll probably talk about later. She was Arnold Schwarzenegger's advisor on Celebrity Apprentice, and built and sold a financial technology company. And last but not least, is a proud member of Woodside Park Synagogue. So, Gemma, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's, as I say, a real honor and privilege to have you. I still remember the first time we met when Batya and I came to welcome you to the community. I think Batya was sitting on the couch with you, but I was on the floor in your living room. So real vivid memories of that. But it's a real pleasure to get to know you. And thank you so much for joining us tonight. So just before we get going with the questions, would you be able to tell us some more about yourself and fill in the gaps that I may have missed?
Oh, great. I was about to say I was mute. So thank you. And also, I do have a happy memory of that. I think it was really nice. I was just quite shocked that you came around to say hello. You know, usually you can get quite lost in a community, and I thought that was really, really lovely. So it's fantastic to support the community. Obviously, I'm a new member. So I think number one is that I'm a new member of the community. I guess to talk a bit about myself, which always makes me cringe a bit. As you said, I advise business owners, government, and the public on how to navigate the changing business and financial environment, which is obviously quite prevalent right now. I was previously head of investment strategy for a wealth manager. I left to found my own company. So I built and sold a business. It's an online investment manager. I built it and sold it within 3 years. So I did everything that you need to do to kind of build, get regulated, raise money, build customer base and sell it, all while I'm having my second child. I've got 2 kids, one Dexter's 6 and Stone is 3, getting divorced while I was selling the business, moving house. So it's been quite obviously a roller coaster. And also, I was Arnold Schwarzenegger's advisor on the Celebrity Apprentice in America through that period as well. So it's been quite busy. But I've launched my second business, which is Times Money Mentor, with the Times and Sunday Times, advising the UK government on how to help everybody's financial well-being. Board of, I like advising high growth businesses because I just want to pass on the things that I learned, what I did well and what I didn't do well. And I'm building that up. So I've got a couple. I think I'm going to try and build up another couple over time. And then I just do a bit of TV as well to try and help audiences, know what's going on. But
wow. So the question is how we're going to fit all that into half an hour, but let's see what we can do. So, I was doing some background info on you online, and I noticed that you have a background in quantum physics. And I was wondering sort of what motivated you to step away from that and start a successful or get into the fintech company world.
Okay, so I love physics, and I did my dissertation on quantum physics. It's amazing. It challenges the way you think. It's completely illogical. We're living in multiple dimensions. Anyway, I love it. But it was all focused on solving problems, and that's the bit of it I liked. And my family were in finance, and I just thought, the thing that most people do need either to solve a problem or is the cause of a problem is money, and helping people understand how to afford the life they want. I thought was something really, really important. So so I was doing the physics. I loved it. And I just use the skills. I think that's really important because I don't think enough people are studying sciences, that it just gives you the most amazing skill sets. And I was the one person that hadn't studied economics, but I did the physics. I then joined Goldman Sachs. I did an internship there, and I fell in love with the industry, and it just never stopped really. I just kept, going where I thought I could, add more value. And yes, I spent time in the city, became a hedge fund analyst or hedge fund manager. So that was really fun. And then the credit crisis hit, and then I became a bit more broad and kind of was advising on lots of different types of investments. And then, the building the business was really, I didn't really think of myself as an entrepreneur. I quite liked the stability and the paycheck, of working for a company. But I was presented with this opportunity. I basically realized it was very hard for everyday people to go to find good financial advice. Yes, of course you can get financial advisors. They can be expensive. You can't always find the right one, but also they have minimums. But what I wanted to do is I thought it's very hard to find good financial advice. Find financial advice that's engaging and accessible. So, what should you do with your money, and the ability to do it with literally the change in your pocket. And that was the opportunity. So I started a business where you could start investing with 50 quid. It really wasn't the thousands of pounds people needed. That was it really.
Wow. So talking about that company, is it Moolah, right? Yeah, that's that fintech company which you set up and eventually sold. Were there times when you wanted to give up, and what pushed you to keep going?
Okay. First of all, let's talk about the times I wanted to give up, because I just think that's a really important part. There were a lot of times I wanted to give up. I think the joke is if somebody had sat me down, I'm kind of always a bit wary about talking about it, because I think if someone sat me down and they told me exactly what it involved, there is no way I just would have done it. It's grueling. The thing that no one really talks about enough is that it's really lonely, because you can't always talk to your team, because you have a company. You can't talk to your employees about really everything that's going on. You should obviously share a lot, but not everything. And you've got investors, and it's their money. And so there's so much pressure. And you have to make all these decisions on marketing, operations, technology. And I'm not saying you can never be the best at everything, but you're still ultimately having to make decisions on all these different areas. That's very, very hard to do. So I think it was grueling. It was, lots of decisions to make. And I think I also found it hard because you're responsible for people's livelihoods. A lot of people are relying on you to, feed their family. And it doesn't always go your way. Sometimes we ran out of money. Sometimes, deals started falling apart. So it was and also even selling the business was a roller coaster. So I would say, yes, I think that's really important. There are always times that you want to quit. I think a couple of things. First of all, you can't quit because you have investors' money. I had other people's money that was put into the business, because I think I had my second child when I just closed the funding round. So people had literally just given me money, and everyone's like, "Well, great, how much maternity leave are you taking?" I was like, "Well, I can't say to people, thanks for the money, guys, I'm off." So yeah, that was quite hard. But I think if you believe, the three things are, I think if you believe really passionately in what you're doing, and I really did, and I just thought there was such a need for what I was doing. And if I could help one person, anybody, I thought that'd be really good, and build really good technology. Because I think the second thing is the ability to just change your direction. I didn't build the business to grow forever. I think that's really daunting. So you don't always have to start a business and think you're going to be in it for the next 10, 20, whatever years. You can start a business with an exit in mind. And I wanted to build the best technology there. And I thought, and again, companies were coming to me, they didn't have the technology. And I knew if I built the right technology, they'd hopefully buy it or partner with me. So that was less daunting. And we pivoted loads of times. We kept changing strategy loads of times till we found the right one. And then the last one, it's corny, but I'm going to say it anyway. My kids, I just think I really wanted to do something that they were proud of, and I could pave the way to make things easier for them. And if I could work out how to do this thing in business, I thought the more I learned, the more they'd see and experience. Because I think the way that I learned about finance was through talking to my dad. And I just wanted to be able to do the same thing with my kids, I think.
Well, that's fast. I mean, that's really inspirational. It's that the common denominator of what you've been saying is that what pushes you to keep going is pretty much other people, whether it be your investors, whether it be your kids, and that's a really very inspirational thing. So, given the inspirational person that you are, and especially for female entrepreneurs, I think, what advice would you be able to give them?
Okay, a really good question. I mean, because I think, as I said, the point is that we're all human, and every job is hard. You can't do everything well. So like building a really good team around you, I think, is really important. I couldn't have done half the stuff that I've done in my career if it wasn't for having really good mentors, role models. And I wasn't the best. I mean, the joke is, I can't even sometimes turn my computer on. So I was running a tech business. It's going to break, it's going to break for me. So, I needed somebody really good on the technology side, someone amazing on the regulatory side, because we were regulated, so understand compliance. I think you can't do it all. You can't do it all, and it's really stressful to think you can. So I think getting a good team is really important. I think also, if you're going to do anything in this type of business, making sure that you test the market so you actually understand what people really want. Because again, it's stressful to create a product that you think is really, really clever, and no one's going to buy it. You need to make sure that people actually, I think, want it, which is really good. Being focused on your goal. So is it you want to be a lifelong entrepreneur? Great. Or is it you want to sell it? And there's two different journeys I think you go on. And then And then again, this one I really struggle with, but like, just be honest about when you find things tough. Again, early on in my career, it's all about trying to prove yourself and trying to pretend you know all the answers, and you think that people will back you if that's the case. But I really learned that if you actually turn around to someone and say, I don't know, I don't have those answers, but I'm going to work really hard to get them. Or you tell your team, like I did, I'm going through a divorce. They then realize if you're looking, because they look to you to be able to understand the health of the business. And I think being honest and open about what I was going through meant that they were still secure and confident about the business. They were just like, well, Gemma's, it's a bit of a hard time at the moment. So I just think, things like that, I think really help, which counter to, I think, the way that business is ran a few generations ago.
Wow, thank you. So we've done a lot of talking about you, Gemma. Now I think...
Exactly,
and I think people might be interested to know what Times Money Mentor is. Many people probably would have heard of it already, but for those of people that haven't, can you tell us some more about what Times Money Mentor is and what you do and how it helps people?
Yeah, it's a website to help people afford the life they want. Something I was really passionate about when I tried to structure the business model was I wanted it to be outside the paywall. So the Times and the Sunday Times, you have to be a subscriber and pay for. Times Money Mentor, you don't. It's a free website, so you can just go to it and get the help and information that you need. It's obviously not a free for all. We try and make money from corporates, but I just said, well, the corporates can afford it. Why don't we help the real people? So I think that was really important. It's lifestyle driven. So it's rather than it talking about, I shouldn't use this voice, but here's a financial product to look at. It's all about, listen, where are you in your life? If you can we help you with a career change? Can we help you with relationship needs, buying a house, some real, looking after your kids? We start with that, and then there's videos, Q&As, real people stories, so you can get inspiration from other people who've done things, what they've done well, what they haven't done, and then at the end of it, it's independent product reviews as well, so that people can buy things off the back of it as well, that I thought was really important. So I've loved building the business. I think it launched in January. It's doing really well, loads of visitors. As I said, doing some good deals there, and then as I said, I'm now just I'm focused on that business, and I've been building up a few other business advisory roles to also, because as I said, it's my second business, to try and pass it on. And I think it's always interesting doing a business that's part of a larger organization as well. How do they work well together? How can you do a little startup, the behemoth of the UK? But it's going really well. So if anyone's interested, come and visit.
Are you finding, by the way, that during I'm assuming yes, but during the current crisis, that many more people are looking to sort of Times Money Mentor and the like for advice? My assumption is definitely, but are you finding there's a significant increase in people who are looking towards you guys for help?
Yeah, there is. And it's not just that website. I think industry as a whole. For the coronavirus, newspaper sales are obviously not doing as well. But in terms of people watching the news, people searching online for help at times when times are troubled, like any type of crisis, people do tend to search out and try and seek advice, and they try and seek independent advice as well. There's a lot of information out there, but there's also a lot of misunderstandings. All we have to look at is, without putting the figure, is that briefing that the Prime Minister did, where he was like, go out but don't go out, work but don't work. I was like,
yeah.
What's going on? And also it's changing every. It was I think for a couple of weeks, it was a new budget every single day. The Chancellor came out and said, well, if you're working, you can get 80% of your salary covered. Oh, but actually, we're going to do this now. If you're self-employed, you can do this. And it's very hard. I find it hard to keep up with it. And I just think for people, especially who have expertise in other areas and not maybe a financial background, I just think it can be overwhelming. So yeah, at times like this, I think it's even more important for people to get really, really good advice, because it can be the difference between really helping survive this period or going kind of down a rabbit hole. It's very hard for a lot of people.
Right. So I guess on the topic of coronavirus then, I know you can't see into the future, maybe you can, but no one really can see in what the future is going to look like. But what do you reckon the economy might look like post coronavirus?
Okay, I'll start with positive, because I think everything's so negative. The positive thing I think about it is that there is going to be, I think the way that we work is basically changed forever, that there's going to be more focus on flexible working, and I think that is really good. Again, generations ago, there was still this focus on, you're judged by the amount of hours you spend in your office, and with people with families and other things and other responsibilities, it's just so tough. And so the move towards, I think, judging work around, can you deliver certain work and you can do it remotely, I think we're just going to see. You've seen that the CEO of Twitter just said, listen, some of you just don't ever come back, just keep working from home forever. So I think working from home will be better. So it means secondly, we're going to be more dependent on technology rather than less. We're obviously talking about doing that with tracking for our health, but also making sure we're saving our data so that if we actually have to not go into an office for 3, 4, 5 months, whatever it is, we can work from home. And then there is the change to the economy, as I think different industries, the kind of the balance in the economy is going to be different. Yeah. So any companies out there that can't reopen because of social distancing will be damaged. So you've got a lot of restaurants, it's just not profitable for them to reopen. So a lot of them will be, which is brilliant, but some of them won't. It's not profitable to reopen half full, or some shops, again, that were already floundering, they're not going to reopen. So that industry is going to, I think, struggle. And you've also got, I think, other sectors, technology will continue to do well. And you've also got other sectors like healthcare, obviously. I think we're going to need to have more healthcare out there. But there is a danger that, there's a lot of support out there for certain businesses, but, I think the ones that struggle the most are the kind of the newer businesses, and they're the ones that create the most jobs, and they're the ones that need to be supported most. And I feel like it's a bit of a rant, but also I think young people as well are being disproportionately hit because they're the ones that are being furloughed more often. And again, those people that we need for the future. So yeah.
Gosh, okay, lot to take in. And again, this is another prediction question, so it's impossible to really know. But how long do you think this sort of financial crisis would last for? How long will it last for? How long will the repercussions be lingering for?
I think I'm going to give a really annoying answer.
Yeah.
Which is, it depends on. So it depends on, number one, how quickly we can contain the virus. So number two, how soon we can get a vaccine. And number three, how quickly companies can adapt. So at the moment, we're in this vicious circle where people are too scared to go out and buy goods. So companies then have to lay people off. So there are more people unemployed, but therefore can't afford to buy goods. And more companies, it's a vicious circle. And I do think that the government has done an amazing amount of work in terms of how many measures and how much money they're pumping back into supporting people. But first of all, there are still people falling through the cracks. There are a lot of people that have set themselves up as limited companies that aren't getting as much coverage. And I also just think that, I think it is going to take time. I think hopefully we're over the worst health-wise. I think economically we probably, a little bit more pain to go through. But I mean, companies do adapt. And I just think it's a tough time all round. The quicker that they can contain it, the quicker the economy will rebound.
Mm-hmm. So do you have any advice then for those who may be struggling currently financially, given what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing, and it sounds like tweeter set, but when times are uncertain, the thing to do is to be able to control what you can. And for a lot of people, they can't control the money coming in. It's very, very hard. A lot of people are earning less money now than they were before. So I think being able to focus on as simple as, going through your bank statement and working out what line items actually don't you need, things like that, just cutting your costs, I think gives people a bit of breathing space. I think secondly, and a lot of people have to take these payment holidays the government's offering. They told banks to take, do 3-month mortgage payment holidays, credit card payment holidays, and it's great, and a lot of people have to do it. But I think being aware there'll be a cost to it later is really important, because you'll start to pay the interest during that period. But otherwise, in terms of, and funny enough, it's the same advice for businesses: control costs where you can, and also look forward and focus on your online presence. Whether that's personally or in a business trying to do more sales online. And if you just pivot that way and feel nimble enough to take opportunities, that might be able to help. But yeah, I think I do think it's a tough time. It's going to be a tough time for a tough few months for quite a few people out there.
Okay, thank you. And now for some maybe investment advice. Given the volatility of the market, is now a terrible time to invest?
No. Okay, so and I only say that. I'm not going to say yes, definitely, but I'm also going to say it's not a definite no for everyone. There are these sayings out there that, Warren Buffett always said, invest, be greedy when people are fearful, be fearful when people are greedy. Everybody, when investment markets are right at the top, that's when people want to get in. And when markets have fallen very, very, very low, people are too scared to get in. But that's often quite a good opportunity. But I think there are two questions to ask yourself if you think about investing. Number one is, do you believe that we're going to be in a better situation when you need the money? So anybody that's thinking, can I invest in the next 3 months? I have no idea. I have no idea where the market could go fall further. But if you don't need the money for 10 years, the hope would be that we would be in a better position than we are today. But But the second point is you really need to be able to sleep well at night. So another strategy some people use is, rather than investing a whole lump sum now, if you're dripping in a little bit of money every now and again, then even if the markets continue to fall, you're investing at cheaper levels as well, and that can help smooth things out. So anyway, hopefully that's a little bit of a tip as well. But I don't know. By the way, that's not investment advice. It's not saying pile into anything. You can lose money, but I'm just saying that it's not a definite no. And if you have a long-term time horizon,
Okay, thank you. I think we've covered pretty much almost everything I wanted to cover over here. There was one last thing I wanted to ask you, because I was just really curious about this. The Arnold Schwarzenegger bit of your bio. Could you tell us some more maybe about your experience on the Celebrity Apprentice, advising Arnold Schwarzenegger, and what was that like?
Okay, the thing I would say is, how sometimes you have a dream, and in your dream, you're there, like Arnold Schwarzenegger next to you, and he turns to you and he goes, oh, who should we fire? And like Boy George is sitting in front of you, and you're like, no, I like Boy George. No, let's keep him. And I think we should, this desperate housewife and this, footballer or whatever. And you have this whole dialogue, and that was real life. Like it was literally, I had to stand there going, I just can't believe I'm here. So it was amazing. It was a really, really good experience. I think just also working with Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was governor of California. He's a business mogul. He was really inspirational to work with. But I worked really, really hard. I worked really, really hard to get that. They didn't just call me up one day. I spent a lot of time pitching different TV show ideas to that network, working with them on different ideas, and they moved the show to California because they wanted to be near all the tech businesses, and I just started a tech business. So I think things kind of aligned. But yeah, I thought it was an amazing experience. And off the back of that, then I started doing other TV shows in the UK. So I have so much gratitude. I'm so grateful for being given that opportunity, because I acknowledge that it was a room full of celebrities and me. And it was just like, who's that kid with the perception? But, it was great.
I'm putting you on the spot over here, but I'm just wondering, is there anything that you might have learned from that experience that you could share with us? Is there something sort of specific which you could share about something you learned from there? From your experience on Celebrity Apprentice?
It's fun. I actually didn't talk about this, about what I learned from Arnold Schwarzenegger that I think we can all learn, which is a secret to success. Actually, it's a secret to success.
That sounds exciting, yeah.
Well, I'm going to build up now.
I'm waiting, yeah.
Disappointed. And the secret is listening. So the one thing that I learned about Arnold, he was brilliant at doing, and it's no matter how high you are or however successful you are in your career, he didn't just kind of go, I want to do X, Y, and Z. He was so collaborative, and he used to listen to the producers, and it was very much, who do we think is working well? What do we think is going to resonate with audiences? And he listened to everyone around him, and then he used that knowledge to then make decisions. He made really informed decisions. And I just think, it sounds simple, but it just made me realize that when I run my business, and again, it's what I try and tell the CEOs that I advise as well, when I was running a business and I was put on the spot to make a decision, it gave me the confidence to say, I don't have to make that decision now. I'm going to go away, ask people, try and get better informed, and I can make much smarter decisions if I actually go to the experts and try and make decisions all on my own. I thought that was.
Now that's really impressive, to be sort of celebrity of his status and to still have the humility to listen to others and not sort of feel like the answer to everything. Wow, thank you for sharing that. Okay, well, thank you so much again for joining us tonight. I know it's difficult with with two kids, as you mentioned, and with the life that you have. So we really appreciate that you've come on, and it's been really fantastic getting to know you, and it's been amazing having you as a member of our community. And I wish you every success in everything that you do in the future. So thank you again.
And I'm really looking forward to meeting more people in the community as well. So
okay, fine. Well, the message is out now, so they've seen this. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you to everyone who is watching, everyone on Facebook, everyone on YouTube. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel because that means that you can get updates for the next sessions and for also everything that Rabbi Akivas does as well. That's it from me for now, and wishing